Excuse me?
What?
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at and possibly fixing these Athearn roundhouse coal hoppers. I picked these up at my local retailer because they were on sale for $52. They had two sets there and I talked myself out of buying the second set, and boy am I glad that I did, because these, as you saw in the intro clip, don't stay on the rails. Now I've tried a couple different things to fix these. I've tried adding some weight to the cars, I've tried unscrewing or tightening up the trucks on them to let them pivot a little bit more, but they still just slide right off the tracks on points and just some random curves. So let's go ahead and get these things out and I can show you the models, because they're actually nice models. They just don't stay on the track. Now today's video is not, this is definitely going to fix these models, because I don't know if it will. But I just thought I'd film the process to give you guys something entertaining to watch and get out of the box. Also, wanted to thank you guys. Oh my gosh, incredible response on the last video. It has over 2,000 views now, and I can't say how happy I am. I do this stuff for fun, so you guys taking time out of your day to watch what I make for fun is really, really awesome. And at the time of recording this, we're up to 80 subscribers. The comments and conversations have been great, so keep them coming. I love engaging with you guys and just talking about one of my favorite hobbies. All right, so let's get these guys out of here. I'll just show you the model quick. So they're just pretty simply detailed, not much underside detailing. You got the weights that are sitting there. It does come with coal loads on all of these hoppers, which are removable, albeit not very easily removable. I had to use a screwdriver to get the coal loads out to try and add weight to it. So they're not very easily removable. So if you do end up buying these, just know that if you really want the coal load out, I would make sure that you really want it out, because it is kind of a pain to get out. So like I said before, I tried a lot of things, such as messing with how loose or tight these trucks were to kind of give the car a little bit more pivot going around corners that might not be even, or points that aren't quite even. I tightened them up, loosened them up, tried a couple different things, and they still just won't stay on the tracks. So because I've tried those things already, the next thing that I thought I'd try was changing out the wheels. At my retailer, I went and picked up two sets of these. So we're gonna try swapping out these metal wheels for the metal wheels and seeing if that makes any kind of difference in the performance. I don't know if these possibly have a higher flange that could keep them on the track, but we're just gonna take a look and see. Like I said, this isn't a video of this will fix it. This is just kind of a documentation of something I'm working on or something I'm doing. So let's get into it. And if you guys have any recommendations for how to fix these derailing off the track, or any rolling stock for that matter derailing off the track, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Now the other interesting thing is that all my other rolling stock, well I should say most all of my other rolling stock, is plastic wheels. And those stay on the track just fine. I've really never had any major issues with those derailing or anything like that. It's just these Athearn hoppers that have a really tough time of navigating the track. And I know my track isn't laid great, but I have made a lot of improvements to how it's laid, and especially in that weird trouble spot in the corner. And the fact that other rolling stock can get around it just fine kind of just makes these even more intriguing of why they don't get around it as well. Now that I've got one of those wheel sets out, I'd like to compare it to these ones that I bought. These should be the same size at 33 inches, but I wanted to try changing out these wheels and see if there's any difference in the flange. I don't know if the camera picks it up as well, but in person there doesn't seem to be a lot of difference in that flange height, or really anything at all about these wheels. The only major difference I'm noticing is that these have a very large point on them, and these have a skinnier, narrow point on them. So whether that's going to make a difference or not is yet to be seen. But so I'm going to go ahead and swap out these wheels on all the hoppers, and then I will report back to you when all the wheels are changed out. Alright guys, so I got all of the cars swapped over on their wheels, except this one. I left it on so we could kind of compare them here. These wheels, because they have a lot skinnier point on them into the truck, they have a lot of movement up and down and side to side, whereas the ones that came on it don't have a lot of movement side to side, and they don't have a lot of movement up and down. They're really sturdy, so that's a little bit concerning. I'm not sure how these are going to perform, but we'll just have to test it and find out. So let's head over to the layout and test them out. Alrighty guys, welcome back to the layout. I have all the wheels on the cars, and so now I'm just going to throw them all on the track and hook them up to a locomotive, and let's see how they roll. First off, just testing them rolling as I'm putting them back down here. They seem to roll a little rougher than they did before, and I'm sure that's just because of the difference in diameter, but we'll see if that helps in any way for them not to derail. Alright, so I have all four of them down on the track. I'm going to pull them with the probably smoothest locomotive I have, that being the Walters EMD GP9. Oh, sending him the wrong way. Come back! Oh, we'll bring him out here. Alright, let's get him coupled up here to the Athearn cars. And so he seems to couple. Now he coupled just fine to those cars, and I'm sure that's because he's got the metal knuckle couplers on. And speaking of those metal knuckle couplers, I had somebody comment on one of my previous videos about upgrading the locomotives to Cadee metal knuckle couplers. They are awesome. I have tried coupling with the plastic couplers, like with the F unit back in the sheds over there. And he just does not couple up to these cars very well. So if you're gonna upgrade knuckle couplers, those metal knuckle couplers are the way to go. They're awesome. They really are. Alrighty, so let's see, now that I got my GP9 coupled up here. So I'm just gonna follow him around with the camera here. Sorry for the shadows, that's kind of unavoidable with the lighting I got set up in the basement, but we'll take them around, see if we have any noticeable derailments. We're going to try some backing up over switches, because that's where it's worse, is when it's backing up over switches. And we're also going to try putting it in a long train. We've got a lot of cars in the yard here we can try with it, so we'll let it get onto the outside loop where the track is still probably laid the worst, and we'll see how they do. Now I will say those cars are a little bit noisier and almost crunchier as they're running. So we'll see how they get over these points, and they got over them just fine. So now we'll run them up to this section, which I've made some improvements to track laying wise, so it's not as rough as it was before, but it's still probably the roughest section on the layout. Ah, no problems there. Let's try reversing them real slow and see if they jump off the tracks or not. So here we go to this first set of switches here. Look at that. That's a huge improvement than what we saw in the intro clip. Oh, we did have one derail right here, but this switch, I'm not going to blame it on the car necessarily. This switch is a problematic switch for a lot of rolling stock that I have. Alright, so now that I've re-railed it, let's try backing it up on another set of switches, which both those switches I know are good. Alrighty, so I've moved some rolling stock. We're going to have them try and reverse from here to here and into this siding. So they're going to hit two switches. So let's give them a shot. Here we go. That stuttering is the locomotive. I'm not sure quite why it was doing that, but reversed with no problems whatsoever, no derailing. That's awesome. That is awesome to see. So now let's try hooking it up to a bunch of rolling stock and see how they roll under tension in a train. So let's try coupling up to that back cut of cars. Now, these probably aren't going to couple very well because those Athearn couplings are just plastic and they're not very good. Oh wow, surprisingly they did couple. So first train under tension, and we're going to come and pick up the second cut of cars and then we will let it run. All right, and we are off. Let's see how these cars perform under tension running around the layout. So far they're looking really good. I'm going to throw them through the ringer right away, sending them down into the town and back out of it. And we'll see how they perform and if they stay on the tracks. We're going through town at the moment as they're coming back out. Look at that. Wow. That is wonderful to see. I had no idea if changing those wheels would work, and look at that. No problems except for the one derailment on that iffy set of points. So very, very cool to see. And you can see they are still going strong under a high load. Look at that. You'll love to see it. Well guys, that's gonna do it for me. These cars look and run great now. These tangent scale model wheels, I guess they were the trick to do it. So thanks for following along in my journey of getting these cars in running condition. Thanks for watching guys. It's been crazy to see the channel grow like it has. Like the last video having over 2,000 views. That's awesome. I love seeing your guys' comments on videos, and should I do more intros and outros like this where you actually see my face? Let me know down below. Anyway guys, thanks again for watching, and as always, have a great one.